Hello, friends, and welcome to our daily learning video. I am so excited that you joined me. Sue, come on out here. Our friends are here. Sue, oh, Sue, what's wrong? What's wrong, Sue? Are you crying? Something's wrong with Sue. Sue, tell me what's wrong. Whisper in my ear and tell me. Oh, Sue lost her doggie. I'm so sorry, Sue. Sue is so sad because she lost her doggie. But Sue, listen, I'm going to tell you something. Listen, I want you to look and see all our friends who are here. Look and see. See all our friends? Do you see them? Okay, well, I'm going to ask them if they'll help. So would you help me find Sue's doggie? Would you mind helping? Sue, they said they will help. So look and see. Everybody's saying they will help. So don't worry, Sue. We are going to find your missing doggie. Now, I think we're going to have to look for clues, Sue. So if you see any doggie paw prints, those are going to be clues. I want you to let me know, okay? You can say a clue, and we'll find them all. And I bet by the end of this class, we'll have found Sue's doggie for her. We're going to be looking for 5 doggie footprints, 5 clues, Sue. So don't worry, have a happy face. We're going to help you. You can sit on the carpet and we'll get started right now. So remember, if you see one of Sue's doggie's footprints, then you say a clue, and we'll look at it and see how many we can find by the end of this class. If we find all 5, then I bet we'll find Sue's doggie. Well, today's letter is the letter D, and D is for detective. That's what we're going to be, detectives, and solve the mystery of Sue's missing dog. That's an uppercase and a lowercase d. Can you say D? D. And if your name has a D, stand up. If your name has a D, stand up. If your name has a D, if your name has a D, if your name has a D, stand up. Well, we're decorating the letter D in a fun way today. I put fingerprints on my letter D. If you'd like to, you could also make footprints on your letter D. I just used my thumbprint and a little Q-tip to make the little toes. So either way, have some fun decorating the letter D with fingerprints or footprints. Now that we know what the letter D looks like, let's learn to write the letter D. To write letter D, you just need a number 1 and a big bubble. So here's the number 1, and then you just need 1 big bubble. Now, when we learned about letter B, we made homemade bubble solution and we blew big bubbles. So this letter D has a big bubble, just like we did that day. So 1 bubble, 1 big bubble. Let's try to write that on the handwriting house. You can practice too if you'd like. Make a 1 and then a big bubble. There'll be a link below so that the grown-up at your house, your mom or your dad or grandma, can print this for you, or you could use any handwriting paper, or you could just use regular paper too. That's just fine. If you have no paper at all, skywrite and practice your D's that way. So there's 1 and a big bubble. Okay, so now we need to practice the lowercase d. So the lowercase d is a lot like the uppercase d. There's a, what? You see a clue? Where's a clue? On the board? I don't see a clue on the board. You see it? Where? There's no clue. It was on the back. You're right. There is our first clue. Great job, detectives. That's 1, and we need 4 more. Oh, you're so good at this. Well, keep your eyes out, looking out for some more clues. And let's use our hands now to draw another D. This is a lowercase d. We're going to make a 1 and a little bubble, and the little bubble is going to go to the left, to the left. If you make that little bubble go to the right, then you've got yourself a B, but we want a D. So make sure the little bubble goes to the left, to the left. Let me show you what that looks like on the handwriting house. Make a number 1, upstairs and downstairs, trace back up and over, downstairs, over, just like that. 1 little bubble, 1 little bubble. There's the 1, and make sure that your little bubble goes this way, to the left, to the left. There you have it. So those are some little D's. And I want to send a sticker your way because I know you were really working hard to practice your handwriting. Good job, everyone. I wish I could put it on the top of your paper. Well, now that we know what D looks like and how to write it, we need to do some phonics and learn the sound that D makes. D makes this sound, D, 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 D. Can you make that sound? D, D, D. It kind of sounds like we're knocking on the door. So this is our hand motion for letter D. Can you do that? Letter D says D, 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 D. I'm going to knock on your door and pretend that I'm coming over to look for clues. Will you say come in? Okay, what does D say? I'm knocking on your door. D, 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 D. Can I come in? Okay, let's come in and look for some clues. Was that doggy over at your house? Let's do it again. What does letter D say? D, 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 D. Can I come in? I can come in? Okay, I'm looking for some clues. Okay, let's do it one more time. What does letter D say? D, 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 D. Come in. Let's look for some clues, everybody. Oh, I think I see a clue behind you. There it is. There's a clue at your house. Let me get it. Oh my goodness. There's another clue. The doggy came to visit you. Thank you. That means we have another clue. Nice job, everybody. Well, that makes 2 clues, and that means 3 more clues to go. I'm so excited. And that was our letter time for today. What does D say? One more time. D says D, 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 D. Nice job. Okay, well, now we're going to do some math. And for math this week, we're working on the number 7. Can you remember what number 7 looks like? We're going to do some counting and then we'll write number 7. This is something that you can do for math today. You can count all your fingers and you can count up to 7 and keep going because actually there are 10 fingers on our hands. So let's count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Did you hear me say number 7? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You can make fingerprints on each of these little fingers if you'd like to. And now let's write the number 7. That's what we've been working on this week. So to make the number 7, all you have to do is just make a line that goes straight out and then slide down just like that. Yesterday, we did letter C for camping, and we used sticks, campfire sticks that we'd collected to make that number 7, didn't we? So here's the number 7 on the handwriting house. You're going to walk out and slide down. Walk out and slide down. Walk out and slide down. That's how you make a number 7. Thank you, everyone. That was our math time for today. And now it's time for our color of the day. And I think I have another mystery for us to solve. I want to see what happens when I mix red and blue together. I wonder what color I'll get. So the first thing I'm going to do is take a jar of water and I'll put that on our shelf. What? You see a clue? Where? It's on the water. Oh, maybe Sis Doggie was thirsty. We found a third clue. That means we only have 2 more clues to go. Wow, you're so good at being a detective. Well, let's solve this mystery now. What happens when I mix red and blue together? I'm going to put a little bit of red paint in this jar, and then I'm going to put a little bit of blue in here too. Okay, now I'm going to stir these around, and let's just see what happens. Oh, whoa, right before our very eyes, that turned purple. Wow, that was so cool. I'm going to dip this paper towel into the water so you can see that it looks purple. Ta-da, look at that. We made purple. What 2 colors did we use to make purple? Red and blue. Red and blue makes purple. That was pretty cool. We solved the mystery of what happens when you mix those 2 colors together. Well, there's another mystery I think we might need to solve, and it's what happened to the trapezoid's top. This is my friend, and he is just poor trapezoid. He has no top. He used to be a triangle, but now he's not. This shape is called a trapezoid. A trapezoid has 4 sides. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2 sides are straight, and 2 sides are diagonal or slanted. So this is a trapezoid. Poor trapezoid has no top. He used to be a triangle, but now he's not. Maybe we need to look for his missing top later after we find Sue's doggie. Well, now it's time for some art, and I think something that good detectives need to use to help them find clues is a magnifying glass. So we're going to make a homemade magnifying glass right now at art. Well, here we are at the art table, and I'm going to be, what? You see a clue? There's a clue right here on this soda bottle. That means we have 4 clues. There's only 1 more clue left. Oh my goodness, we are definitely going to help Sue find her missing puppy. Okay, well, I want to show you how to make a magnifying glass, and I'm using a 2-liter soda bottle. This one just happens to be Dr. Pepper, and I'm going to take a cup because it has a circle on the bottom, and I'm just going to trace the circle onto the 2-liter bottle. I want to trace it onto the part up here near the top that is curved. Next, you'll have to get a grown-up to help you do this, because once you have your circle drawn, they're going to need to cut it out with a knife. So definitely get a grown-up to do this part, okay? Now, once you have this part cut out, then you can put a book underneath or something with words, and you could put a little bit of water into the little piece of the bottle. And now watch what happens when I lift this up. The words start to get bigger. That's pretty cool. And that's what a magnifying glass does. A magnifying glass makes things look bigger. Look at Papa Bear's eyes. Now let's see if we can look at the leaf. Wow, it looks so much bigger. So that's pretty cool. We used a soda bottle and some water to make our own homemade magnifying glass. Well, that was our art project for today, and now I'm going to come back over and we're going to talk about fingerprints for science. For science today, we're going to talk about fingerprints. Fingerprints are just skin patterns on the tips of your fingers. Every one of your fingers has a pattern, and you're the only one with your pattern. everybody in the world has fingerprints, but no two people's fingerprints are alike. Isn't that amazing? And doesn't that point to an amazing, an awesome, a creative God? He created each and every person on the planet with different fingerprints. That is pretty cool. Well, you're going to have the same fingerprints your whole life, but they're going to grow bigger as you do. And I'm going to use this balloon to show you my fingerprint, and we're going to try to blow it up so we can take a closer look at it. Now, there are 3 kinds of fingerprints. If you look really closely, you can see that either your fingerprint is like a rainbow, that's called an arch, or it might be like a squiggly letter U, that's called a loop, or it might be kind of swirled around, that's called a whirl. So let's find out what my fingerprint is. I'm going to blow the balloon up just a little bit, about the size of an apple. Maybe mine's a little more than an apple. Let me let a little out. That's good. And then I'm going to take a marker. You could also use a stamp pad if you have one. And I'm just going to rub my finger with the marker like that. And then I'm going to just stamp my finger onto the side of the balloon. And I'm going to lift it up. And now I'm going to finish blowing up the balloon. Whoa, and it makes my fingerprint get much bigger. So now let's take a closer look at it and see if we can decide which one I have. Oh, I think the lines on my fingerprint look like a rainbow, so I have an arch fingerprint. See if you can figure out what kind of fingerprint you have. Remember, if it's like a rainbow, it's an arch. If it's a squiggly U, that's a loop. And if it's kind of swirled, that is a whirl. For story time today, we're going to be reading Detective Dog and the Disappearing Donuts. This story is by Valerie Garfield. Detective Dog went to Dave's diner every day for dinner. For dessert, Detective Dog always ordered a donut. Detective Dog loved donuts. One day after dinner, Detective Dog said to Dave, "Today is my birthday. I think I'll have 2 donuts for dessert to celebrate." "On the double, Detective," said Dave. "Oh dear," Dave cried. "The donuts have disappeared." "Doggone it," said Detective Dog. "I have some detecting to do." Suddenly, Detective Dog noticed something near the door. Powdered sugar. "If I follow this trail of donut dust, I bet I'll find the thief," she said. Detective Dog followed the trail of donuts downtown. She followed it past Drake's drugstore and the department store. The trail led right into Debbie's Deli. "The donut napper must be in there," said Detective Dog. Detective Dog turned the doorknob. She stepped inside the deli. It was completely dark. Then suddenly, surprise! The lights came on. Everyone yelled, "Happy birthday, Detective Dog!" "Hot diggity dog," said the detective. "It's a birthday party for me." Dave told Detective Dog that he'd only pretended the donuts had disappeared. Dave made the trail of donut dust to lead the detective to the party. Detective Dog was delighted with the party. There were dazzling decorations and dandy gifts, and best of all, there were dozens and dozens of delicious donuts. The end. Well, I hope you enjoyed the story, Sue. Did you like the story? Well, Sue, I have some bad news. We had one more clue and we didn't find it. I'm so sorry. We looked as hard as we could. We were on. What? You see a clue? Where's a clue? On the fish tank. Oh my goodness. Well, that's the last clue. So that must mean that Oh, there he is. There's your doggy, Sue. Oh, thank you, detectives. You helped find Sue's missing doggy. She has a happy face now. Thank you so much, detectives. You did a great, great, great job. Oh, thanks, everyone. I'll see you next time for our letter of the day video. Goodbye.